There comes a moment in every life where what you see doesn't match what you believe. A moment where everything around you screams impossible, but something deep inside you whispers, keep going. That whisper is called faith. Faith is not the absence of struggle. It is the power to stand tall in the middle of it. Faith is not for the weak. Faith is for warriors. It's the fire that refuses to die, the voice that keeps declaring, even when the facts say otherwise. Faith is the audacity to believe that something greater is on the way, even when there's no evidence yet. But let me tell you something powerful today. Faith is more than just believing. Faith is a decision. Faith is discipline. Faith is vision with action. Faith doesn't sit and wait. Faith gets up and builds. Faith doesn't cry in the storm. It prepares for the sun. Because real faith doesn't just pray for the future. It plans for it. Faith is not a fantasy. It is not a mystical emotion that dances in the wind with no direction. Faith is not wishing upon a star. It is not sitting in a corner waiting for something miraculous to happen while we do nothing. Real faith is not passive. It is aggressive. It is intentional. It is strategic. It has direction. It has structure. It has a blueprint. Faith, to be effective, demands a plan. We have misunderstood faith for too long. We think that believing is enough. We quote scriptures, declare promises, and sing songs of hope, but we do not sit down to map out what we believe for. That's not faith. That's fantasy. Faith must be married to wisdom. Faith must be partnered with understanding. Faith must give birth to a plan, or it will die in the womb of wishful thinking. When you study the lives of the great men and women who walked in divine power, you will notice one common thread. They had direction. They moved with purpose. They didn't just say, God will do it. They asked, Lord, how do you want to do it through me? They took divine instruction and turned it into intentional action. Faith is the evidence of things not seen, but that evidence must lead to execution. You cannot claim to believe for something and yet live without a strategy to receive it. The world does not respect belief without results. Heaven backs belief that is accompanied by movement. Heaven partners with people who put feet to their faith. If you say you believe God will give you a house, where is your savings plan? If you say you believe God will elevate you in business, where is your business proposal? If you say God will use you in ministry, where is your preparation? You cannot wait for God to act while you stay inactive. That is not faith. That is spiritual laziness dressed in religious language. Faith must be proven by structure. Structure is the evidence of serious belief. If you truly believe something is coming, you start building a container to hold it. If you truly believe rain is coming, you prepare your field to receive it. If you truly believe increase is on the way, you create systems to manage it. You don't wait until it comes to get ready. You prepare in expectation. That preparation is your demonstration of faith. When Noah was told that rain was coming, he did not say, God will do it. He started building. That ark was not a monument of fantasy. It was a plan in motion. It was a structure of faith. Every hammer, every nail, every measurement was a sermon of belief. God gave the vision, but Noah had to execute the plan. That is the partnership of divine purpose. Heaven provides the promise, but earth must provide the planning. Heaven authorizes the dream, but earth must architect the design. Faith is not magic. Faith is management. If you cannot manage the little, God will not trust you with the overflow. Believing for more while mismanaging what you have is a contradiction. Faith says, I see where I'm going, so I'll structure my now for my next. You cannot keep asking God for doors to open when you haven't even studied how to walk through them. You can't pray for promotion and still think on the level of survival. Faith requires a shift, not just in speech, but in systems. Too many people are praying without planning, crying without calculating, hoping without preparing. It is a dangerous thing to desire elevation without education. God is not just watching your prayer life, He is watching your preparation life. Because faith without works is dead, and works without wisdom is disorder. You need both faith and a framework. You need both belief and a building process. You need both vision and a vehicle to carry it. When Joseph received a dream from God, he didn't step into the palace the next day. There was a process, there were steps, there was growth, there were responsibilities. And at every level, he had to prove he could manage what he believed. Faith was not just a feeling, it was his posture in the pit. It was his integrity in Potiphar's house. It was his discipline in prison. And ultimately, it was his strategy in the palace. And ultimately, it was in his strategy in the palace. He didn't just dream, he developed. He didn't just believe, he built. Some of you are not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. He's waiting on you to draft the proposal. He's waiting on you to register the business. He's waiting on you to enroll in the course. He's waiting on you to hire the coach, write the outline, or clean up the mess. Your next level is not delayed by the devil. It's delayed by your lack of planning. God does not bless laziness. He blesses diligence. He blesses excellence. He blesses stewardship. Faith is not about shouting louder, it's about structuring smarter. Faith is planning with the confidence that God will meet you in the process. Faith is not asking for signs. It is moving as though the sign has already been given. Faith is walking toward the Red Sea before it opens. Faith is preparing the table before the guests arrive. Faith is writing the speech before you're invited to the stage. Faith is buying the crib before the building comes. Faith is laying the bricks before the building is approved. Faith demands you act like it's already done. And that action is called the plan. Your plan is your proof. Your schedule is your statement. Your calendar is your confirmation. Your budget is your belief system. If I can't see your strategy, I can't measure your faith. You can't say God gave you a vision and then live with no structure. That's not faith. That's negligence. Every great vision must be translated into steps. You can't climb a mountain with a dream alone. You need a map. Faith is the confidence that the summit is real, but a plan is the vehicle that gets you there. Don't blame God for what you didn't plan for. Don't accuse the devil when it was really disorganization. Don't shout about harvest if you never planted seed. God gives seed to the sower, not the daydreamer. And when you sow, you must also know where to reap. That requires strategy. That requires clarity. That requires insight. Faith is not blind. It sees beyond the surface. And what it sees, it begins to structure. Sometimes the reason the promise hasn't come to pass is not because God said no. It's because there's no structure to support it. God will not pour new wine into old wineskins. That's not punishment. That's protection. He will not give you what your systems cannot sustain. If he gave it to you now, it would crush you, not bless you. So he waits until your structure matches your belief, until your plan matches your proclamation, until your maturity matches your miracle. So now the question is, what are you building? What are you organizing? What are you mapping out? What is your plan? And don't tell me you're waiting on God. He already gave you the word. Now he's waiting to see your response. Not your emotional response, but your strategic one. Not your tears, but your timeline. Not just your declarations, but your discipline. Faith that doesn't translate into action is an insult to the one who gave. The enemy is not intimidated by your dreams. He is intimidated by your discipline. He is threatened not by what you hope for, but by what you structure for. Because once you create a plan, your faith becomes unstoppable. Planning takes your belief out of the invisible realm and drags it into reality. It pulls your future into your present. That's why hell tries to distract you, delay you, and derail your focus. Because a focused believer with a plan is dangerous. Faith is not just believing that God will show up. It's preparing for when he does. It's building as if the answer is already in motion. It's structuring your life to accommodate the promise. So don't just say God will do it. Ask yourself, what am I doing to receive it? Don't just shout about your destiny. Design for it. Don't just speak about your future. Strategize for it. Don't just dream. The kingdom of God does not operate by magic. It operates by principles, and one of those principles is planning. A man may plan his way, but the Lord directs his steps. If you don't plan your way, there are no steps to direct. You must give God something to guide, something to breathe on, something to multiply, something to favor. Miracles flow where order is present. God multiplies what is in motion. This is the hour to believe with your hands, not just with your heart. To pray and plan, to fast and formulate, to worship and work. Because faith demands a plan. And when you plan with faith, you are saying to heaven, I'm ready. You are showing God you're not just a hearer of the promise, you're a builder of the vision. And when God finds a builder, he releases the blessing. So let the others keep waiting on signs. Let the others keep hoping with no strategy. Now go. Take the vision and write it down. Make it plain. Map it out. Get clear. Set dates. Set goals. Set disciplines. Because faith demands more than emotion. It demands execution. And when you execute with faith, heaven will respond with power. Because faith doesn't just believe for what's coming, it builds for it.